look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Evan McPherson has this one teed up, and we are underway from MetLife Stadium. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Hey, 88.
Rodgers going to the air to start things out. And incomplete to open things up.
Man coverage to start the game, and I expect we'll see a good amount of that. They trust their secondary to hold down the fort and let their pass rushers get home. And that's a good job right on play one.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Go to 50.
To throw is Rodgers. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him,
26.
do they?
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1.
Get 300. Get 300.
Throwing is Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field on 4th down. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. Just their first in this half. We'll step aside and come right back. Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive.
Chip! Go to 50. Hey, you block over here.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Flushed out right. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game, and this defense delivers a turnover on downs on the very first drive of the afternoon.
I'm one,
From
ready?
the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. This will be incomplete. Oh, a dream chance for a D lineman, but he couldn't pull that one in.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
Here we go. 11 MT. 11
now
MT.
Burrow changing things up here.
Shot.
From the gun, a give to Brown. And a short gain down to about the 33. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as
gun.
of yet. Here's
Shot.
3rd and 9.
Shot.
Now Burrow. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right, and this will remain a scoreless game.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. From the 43, here's a 2nd and 7. Throwing now is Rodgers. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Add this gain to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid game.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it.
Excellent defensive effort to get to him and provide a little contact before the catch could be made cleanly.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Now they bring a receiver in motion right. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Jets get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Jets lead 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
On 2, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they are looking at a 2nd down and 6 coming up.
Here we go.
Now it's Burrow.
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes.
Will McDonald gets in there to take him down.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
And
now they'll shift things around.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
53 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
John!
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
Teammate.
Now Rodgers. This pass out wide to Hall. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Jet first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Yeah, Liz.
Rodgers now to throw. There's Hall bringing in another one. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
That's a nice job right there. Get the ball out to the perimeter, get it to your guy in space, and he's just going to take this, turn upfield, and turn it into a big play in 1st and goal.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time.
Back north.
Now it's Rodgers. Flush to his right. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Jets have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Only the 2 catches for him thus far, CD, but both of them have resulted in touchdowns.
And I think he's on the bench right now, Brandon, smiling at his position coach and telling him, all those times you talked to us about efficiency, I'm living it right now.
Zerline good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line.
On 1, ready?
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6.
Now it's Burrow. A short throw there pulled in by All. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Here we go.
Burrow will throw. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Will McDonald. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
11.
They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. A tough spot here. 3rd and 15.
Here we go, here we go.
Here's Burrow. Looking deep here for Chase. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by DJ Reed. And the Jets will take over here just shy of the 30.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. That one taken in by Corley. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, Liz.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 the score as we get rolling again here in this second half. And no return forthcoming. It'll be a touchback. And the third quarter will start from the 30. The Bengals drive about to get going. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Here we go.
Burrow looking to pass. Looking deep here for Chase. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets will take over possession here up at the 44.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Now Rodgers. This completes a Corley. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 14 yards that time for number 14.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And a tackle there by Jermaine Pratt.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. Here's Rodgers to throw. Over the middle and complete to Wilson.
Life in disguise, cause real recognize I ain't gotta compromise. I keep it concise, the gang tied up ties. On the industry advice, I'm outside with some good fellas and some nice guys trying to live life in disguise. We lit in real life, we don't pay to be verified. We just manifest, lay and grind on the rise. We defy the odds like it's nothing, time after time. God bless this eternal shine, yeah. Eyes on the prize, it's my life sold up. 5:45, had the lights on us. Shooting star, yeah, all over the globe. Hard work, all I ever know. So nobody could tell me I'm not wet my way and go, yeah. I'm in my zone, yeah, through this microphone. The way they looking at me like they seen a UFO.
Tryna dodge a sentence. Just walked out the lavish store, pair of shoes, $12.50. You wanna boss up your life? All you gotta do is get in with me. I don't even pay to get in the club. They know I'm a walking tick. I'm